welcome President Bush to Quintana Roo, to Cancun, and to Mexico. It is a great honor to have him here, particularly in this place in Cancun, which is all set and receiving many visitors. But the best visitors are President Bush and Prime Minister Harper, with a working agenda that will be fruitful and positive for the three countries in Latin America. Some words from Mr. Bush. Señor Presidente, muchísimas gracias por invitarnos a Cancún. Es una parte.
And the hospitality is magnificent. I know that you hit hard by hurricanes, which reminds me that I need to thank you and the Mexican people for your strong support and help after Hurricane Katrina. I will never forget being on the in the Gulf Coast area of my country, helping people lift people's spirits. We went to a school that had been destroyed by Katrina, little elementary school. And there was the Navy construction teams working side by side with, and it reflects the spirit of friendship that defines the relationship between our two countries and defines our personal relationship. When you were speaking, I thought about the first time I went to visit you. I was newly elected and flew down to your fantastic ranch, and that started a very important relationship. And I think it's important for the people of our countries to know that while we haven't agreed on every single issue, that nevertheless we work in the spirit of friendship and cooperation. Today we had a very important discussion. We discussed border security. The President understands, and I understand, we have an obligation to secure our borders, and I want to thank your government for sending out such a strong statement about the need for the shared responsibility we have. In other words, border security is not just one country's prerogative. It's the prerogative and duty of both countries. And we spent time talking about how to work together to continue to strengthen that cooperation necessary to do our duty. I also appreciate the President's work to enforce Mexico's southern border. It's a difficult job, but nevertheless, the President shared with me the strategies he's employing to do that job as well. Obviously, the migration issue came up, and I told the President there's a legislative process that's going forward, and that it may look cumbersome to some, but that's how our democracy works. I told the President that I am committed to having a comprehensive immigration bill on my desk. And by comprehensive, I mean not only a border security, a bill that has border security in it, a bill that has interior enforcement in it, but a bill that has a worker permit program in it. And that's important, a part of having a border that works. We don't want people sneaking into our country who are going to do jobs Americans won't do. We want them coming in an orderly way, which will take pressure off of both our borders. And I explained to the President my vision of the citizenship issue. And I don't believe somebody should be allowed to come into our country and get ahead of the line, the citizenship line. And so I told President Fox that I think that a program that'll work is somebody working on a temporary basis with a tamper-proof ID card. And if they want to become a citizen, they can get in line, but not the head of the line. And I reminded the President, I called for an increase of green cards the other day in Washington, D.C. as one way to help manage this issue. At any rate, we're in the middle of a legislative process. I'm optimistic we can get a bill done, and I look forward to continuing to work with members of both parties to get a bill done. We also talked about President Fox's vision of working together in our hemisphere, particularly in Central America. And he's proposed a very innovative set of ideas to help stabilize and help encourage growth in Central America, starting with an energy initiative. And of course, we appreciate your leadership on that issue, and I look forward to sending some of our experts down to listen to the ideas being talked about. And one idea, of course, we want the idea of developing alternatives to gasoline that is comes from crude oil. That we'd like to see more use of ethanol and how we can work together to increase the crops necessary to become the feedstock for an ethanol production. But at any rate, the point I'm making is that we've got a lot to do in our relationship. President Fox is, if people take an objective look at his record, one of the things that I'm most proud of, and I think our country must be most appreciative of, is the stability of the Mexican economy. It's important to have a trade partner that has got a stable economy. And, Mr. President, you've done a fine job of providing stability and increasing the net worth of your citizens. And that's important for the American economy as well. The more net worth there is in Mexico, the more likely it is a Mexican may be wanting to buy a U.S. product, and vice versa, by the way. And so our trade has made a difference in the lives of our citizens, and your leadership has made a difference in the state of your economy. So it's good to be with you again, sir. Thank you for your warm hospitality.
Muchísimas gracias, presidente Bush. Y de mi parte, comentar también con gran satisfacción lo productiva que ha sido esta.
How productive the relation with the United States has been, and bilateral agreement in North America has been in order to promote development here in Mexico, and all this is part of the commitment and obligation of generating opportunities, making sure that we can build up, create jobs, create greater income, revenues for the families in Mexico. The maquila, the infant industry installed in the border of the country, there's a deficit of people. They want to give jobs to 100 great growth that's going on. And not only in this field, but in many other fields. I'd say that something that appeared in the mass media in Mexico, a position of a state, clearly, very clearly in Mexico, for the political parties, the Congress, the House of Representatives, the upper chamber, the senators, the President of the Republic, the governors of the states, everybody has a very clear idea. Migration. It is a shared responsibility, and we understand very clearly here in Mexico all the main characters of the political scenario that we have to work so as to assume our responsibility. Central American countries with the same purpose. Let us assume shared responsibilities. For us, that tomorrow the Congress of the United States might approve any sort of bill, any sort of matter, migration-wise. It is a sovereign decision, of course, in the United States. But Mexico assumes its responsibilities to work with passion, with commitment, diligently with our economy and developing opportunities for our people. United States, we work closely with the Ministry of the Interior here in Mexico with Secretary Abascal. Secretary Abascal has the total support of the President of the Republic. And the possibility of adding the support of all the ministries and all the different federal agencies that have to do with safety and security so that we can give steps forward in this topic. We want to have a safe border for the benefit of our citizens and for the benefit of the United States. Likewise, we have intensified our actions with the Oasis Project. We're going after the criminals that are trafficking with people that are, let's say, of these criminals, alien smugglers. Likewise, in the southern border, as President Bush said, we are very active, very active. Illegal migrants, people that are coming illegally to the Mexican territory, and sending them back to their own countries with due respect. But we're doing an efficient work in that sense. Now, with the same type of orientation, President Bush element to thrust development in the Central American economies so that they can grow, they can generate jobs, that through this project and through this program, they can generate actual opportunities in these countries. And this is a program of energy. We want to achieve the construction of refineries for oil, different natural gas, sources of electric energy on the other hand, and conversion of natural gas, liquid, fluid gas to natural program that we shall approve next May, the Central American countries and Mexico. And we are cordially inviting the United States to attend, to know, to observe, to see the project so as to know how can we can interact with the strength and the capacity of North America so as to integrate a strong development and solid process in the Central American countries. We have spoken, we have mentioned about the whole American Canal. We have to reactivate the working commission in this area so that we can discuss ideas and give solutions for both parts. As we have always, and this is what we have to the total or whole American channel. Thus, I want to thank President Bush for his essence and for his work. That's all he's doing. Tomorrow, in the trilateral meeting, we will be covering other topics, the topic of safety and security, and then some other developing topics. Belong to the prosperity and security of North America. Thank you.